Usually you don't get a chance to do sound check, do you?
No.
Not at our level,
Just pray you're in tune.
right? Or pray that you've plugged your guitar in. Who would do that?
I can't hear myself. Sound guy,
Yeah, I wonder.
try plugging it in.
How about this shredding solo that no one can hear? Let me act like
What a
it's
waste.
happening.
You practiced that so hard, no one could even hear you. Been there.
That happens too often. Too often. That happened here. That happened here last podcast we had with El Professor Jamie, where we put on an amazing podcast, but yet his guitar was not plugged in. His voice. It's just a metaphor. Guitar is a metaphor.
That's gonna happen.
It does
It
happen.
happens. It's part of showbiz. But yeah, you work through it.
So this picture up here is showing, or what is up here?
So that's what we'll show later.
Okay, but
They don't see that.
all right.
So we got 2 minutes. You might have some people watching at the moment.
So it's live right now?
Yeah, we're
This whole live bit, this whole podcasting is all new frontier for me, Dave.
Mm-hmm. Same with me.
Yeah.
I mean, Thomas have done our things before, but that
But
is a little different vibe.
That's a webinar.
The stakes aren't quite as high.
So, I mean, I'm not sure what the difference is between a webinar and a podcast. I'm sure somebody listening is like, God, what a dummy. Everybody knows the difference between that.
Uh-huh.
But I don't. I think that the only, because we did webinars where, well, I guess we didn't record them. They weren't on video.
the main difference, yeah, is the video aspect of it.
And then we got a fancy producer that's pushing some fancy buttons over there. Right?
Yeah, they can't see me.
They can't see you.
They can hear me, I think.
They can. But we're going to change all that. We're going to, continue to improve this podcasting and give Joe Rogan a run for his money.
Yeah, watch out.
Watch out, Joe. Watch out for us. Tom's coming. Okay, well,
All right.
are we going yet?
It's 1:30 now. So
It is
here's
one.
the intro.
We did the intro already?
I just,
Okay. Fantastic. It is episode 2
Two.
of the World of Marketing. We're still working on our musical entry,
We'll get there.
but until
We'll get there.
then, that's what you get. So, World of Marketing, happy to have my friend and coworker David Waiter here with us.
Thank you for having me.
David, thank you. Thank you. I know you're a busy guy. He is a busy guy. He's like constantly here, constantly working on clients'
Yeah.
websites.
Lots to do.
Dave's part of our web services team who came to us 3.5 years ago.
Almost to the day. Yes.
Now, some of you might think that that's not very long, but in the world of SEO, that's like a lifetime.
It certainly is.
That's like you've like retired 16 times in 3 years. Things have changed so much. You came here, and where were you working before? What were you doing?
I was working for a government contractor out in Landover, Maryland, doing quality assurance. Exactly. And when I found you all, it was
How did you find us?
on Craigslist. I think I
Craigslist.
might be the
Wow.
only person left who found their job on Craigslist and is still alive.
That's funny. So you came in here, and you came in here as a junior SEO.
Yep.
Yeah, and you were under the tutelage of El Professor Jamie
Yeah. Jamie taught me a lot of
and
what I know
and
today.
Zach,
Zach.
our friend Zach, who maybe he went to go take your job. Maybe he's
Where I
working
was
a government
before.
contract.
I hope not.
Right?
I would not wish that on
That would
anybody.
be terrible.
But yeah,
He's-
learned a lot since starting. Like you said about SEO, it's constantly changing, and what I was being taught 3.5 years ago was a lot different than what we're doing today. So you're constantly on your toes.
Yeah, for sure. And so I think that Thomas, I asked you to put together some just so everybody knows who they're talking to. Obviously, you can see them on video, but what do we got first?
Oh dear.
What are we showing first? This one.
Who's
This
that?
pic. That's
Who's
him.
that guy?
That's you just recently. So I only point this out because Dave, like, super nice guy. He works with many of our clients. He's kind of an entrepreneurial thinker himself. He came here as a junior SEO dude and went back to school right away. Went to JMU.
Back for grad school to
Grad
study
school.
business.
Yeah, went and got his business degree. So now he's very smart. He's got his Master of Business degree. So that's that, and he's like, I think he's got his big fancy watch there. He wanted me to point that out. in
That
this
was a
picture.
gift. Yeah, I didn't realize how prominent that was.
So
I'm more proud of that than the
there you go.
actual degree.
do we have a picture? He also is a big hiker, right?
Oh, yeah, I
we
do a
have-
couple
look
of
at this.
things.
This is you on your Appalachian hike, right?
Where'd you guys get this?
So you went on? Didn't you do this last year by yourself on the Appalachian Trail?
Yes, this one was from just a couple months ago, but it was on the Appalachian Trail, but not the excursion that you're referring to. So yeah, a couple times a year I like to get out into the Shenandoah, Virginia mountains and just get away for a little bit.
Yeah. You're also an Eagle Scout, right?
Yes.
So you can take care of yourself
Yeah.
in these conditions.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. It's been a while since I.
Oh, this is you in Nam.
Yeah, in Nam. No, yeah, this was a couple months ago too. We during my for grad school, we went to Vietnam and Thailand, and this was us in the Mekong Delta for a brief day where we got to explore the canals and all the rivers. So yeah, that was an amazing experience.
And you have a big date coming up here, I understand.
I sure do.
And so what's happening here? Coming soon.
In less than
Can I have the next picture,
what's the
Thomas?
date today?
There we go.
Yes.
So that beautiful creature that's on top of you is your fiance,
Yes,
Julia.
that is my fiance Julie.
So
Yes.
yeah, that Julie.
And the big date is July 19th, coming up quick.
Yeah. So there's hope for all of you guys out there, as you can see. So yes, I just point that out because you are a super cool guy. But plus, do we have the other picture
We got
now?
a couple more. Oh,
Here's a good one.
Dear.
So you guys might recognize him from this picture where this is him in a Halloween. Well, no, this is you like last weekend.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Any given weekend, you might find me in this.
Yeah, that's his Slash outfit. And so this was inspired because he's also in Mad Brenda. He's my lead guitarist in Mad Brenda.
Mhm.
Do we have any pictures of that, Thomas?
Should have a few.
There we go. There's us playing.
Oh, what a blast!
Yeah, look
That was
at- there
fun.
you
I think
go.
that was my first show with
Okay.
you guys.
This podcast is sponsored by madbrenda.com. So if you want to become a...
We had to.
There he is,
Had to
shredding
say
right
it.
there.
Yeah, my Fender Strat.
There you go. All right. So anyway, now everybody knows who Dave is. I just wanted to make that introduction. And so, and the point, part of my point is that you came in here wanting, and you learned SEO, but you found out pretty quickly that SEO is just a piece of the big giant puzzle, right?
Mhm. Yep, you can't be effective at SEO if you're working in a vacuum. There's so many other moving parts to web marketing, especially for our clients. We rely heavily on these technical SEO techniques that we do for our clients, but it's, like you said, just one piece of a much larger puzzle.
Yeah, and that's what really that these podcasts are about, and what we're always talking to our clients about. Many of you that I know are here because I see the registration list. I have the registration list, and I'm so excited. I hope you all are really here. I can't really tell because I don't know. Who knows? We'll see. Either way, the point of this is to expose or open your eyes or open your minds to other things besides just page one for keywords to get good business in the door. And so we have an actual example from one of the clients that you work with. We're not gonna say the name. We're gonna protect the names because they're innocent
Mm-hmm.
or something.
Yeah, I'll try not to let it slip, but very excited about these guys. Like you said, I probably would consider myself, an SEO specialist, technical
Yeah.
SEO and things like that, gaining organic visibility, but that's just a piece of what I do with my clients on a daily basis. In addition to SEO, we're also doing email marketing, social media, stuff like that. So not just technical SEO. I definitely like to focus on those sorts of things like rankings, improvements on Google. That certainly gets them more cases, through the door. But there's a number of other techniques at our disposal, especially with DSS, to get them more clients.
Yeah, and that's what they're after, right? Obviously, and not necessarily always more, but more better. We want more better. We want more better cases and clients, and so that's part of it too. We all can debate whether being on page one for all your vanity keywords brings you the clients that you are looking for. I certainly have one opinion that most of you that know me know what my opinion is about that. And so I'm not even saying that you shouldn't be on page one for your keywords. You definitely should be beating on whoever's doing your SEO and in your digital marketing to be on page one for all your keywords. However, sometimes that is way more challenging depending upon who's in front of you there and your budget, honestly.
And it's not enough just to be there. That's
Right.
only like the first part of the funnel. Once they get on your site, and that you have a whole other beast called conversion. So yeah, just getting on page one is half the battle. It's getting those people through the door, building that trust, and convincing them to contact you, and that you have the answers to the questions that they're asking.
And it's way harder to convince people that don't know you, right?
Mhm.
And that's kind of what we're talking about with page one. And so what we're going to share with everybody today is how you helped one of your clients that you worked with for 3 years, right? That was one of your first clients that you started working with?
Yeah, these guys were one of the first ones that you guys handed over to me
Mhm.
to work on by myself. And I believe they got a fresh site from us
Yeah.
two and a half years ago, maybe a
Mhm.
little bit before I started working with them. But that first month with them, we were lucky if we could scrape together, 150 organic views. And, 2.5 years later, we're getting, on a consistent basis, almost 15,000 organic visits to their website. And that's from a combination of really good content, link building, monthly SEO tune-ups, social media backlink building, and then, as we're about to get into right now,
Do we have the graphic?
a very
of-
targeted email campaign. Yeah, I think we've got their organic growth.
Can you show me that, Thomas? The organic growth piece, which this is what we're going to get into, but the other one that shows that's...
Yeah, right here. Yeah, so this is over the last 2.5 years.
Look at that steady growth.
So all the way to the left, that's January 2017, and they're in a competitive market too. They're in their criminal defense law firm in Charlotte, North Carolina,
Mhm.
which is super competitive.
There's a lot of troublesome people down there in Charlotte.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm very happy with the growth that we've seen from them, and it's just from sticking to the basics.
I
Right?
would be very happy if I started at 200 visits and
Less
I
than
was
that.
now at 15,000 visits a month.
That-
That's what we're getting.
Mm-hmm. And they did this in 2.5 years.
Well, how did they do it?
Like I said, a combination of really good content. They write a lot of great case results. What else? Link building.
Do they do a lot of the effort themselves?
They do help out a little bit. I'm guiding most of it, and our writers. But they do pitch in when I ask them. They're a great client. They work hard.
That's good. So just to be a metaphorical, I think that's a word.
That sounds right.
You're the college guy. That's right. If I'm being
That's-
metaphorical.
That's a word.
Okay.
That word exists.
That is true. I forgot what I was gonna be metaphorical about now, because I was like, is that the right word? It'll come back to me. This is happening to me lately all of a sudden. Ever since I became a grandfather, like I don't know what's happened. Like I forget things.
That's okay.
Is it? Anyway, okay. I think what I was going to talk about is the fact that you are guiding them, but they are doing the work.
Mm-hmm.
Metaphorically, is like they have when they come to it's like they come to the gym. They sign up for a gym, and you are their trainer, and they have to do the work when you're not training them.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the work, like any exercise program or weight loss or get in better shape program, involves a lot of nutritional stuff that has nothing to do with the trainer. That's you telling them, okay, I need you to write content.
Mhm.
Okay, I need you to get reviews. And they are doing that. So that's a big part of it. You cannot do this alone,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what. The client they have to do it.
Yeah,
So
it's
yeah.
been a perfect mix of good guidance and then excellent help from their part. They've gotten probably almost over 300 Google reviews. Now they have a lot more volume of cases because they do criminal law and traffic tickets, but that's been a huge factor in this growth is review generation, writing case results, writing library articles when I need them to. It's just been a great overall partnership.
Yeah, but they've been doing it. They've been executing. They've been executing the growth plan. Here's the damn growth plan. Here's the growth plan, Thomas. Oops, I think I donked this. But right, let me see if I can get the camera. Here's our growth plan, and that's what they're executing. Right. All these pieces.
Yep.
Now we're on email marketing. That's what we're talking about today.
Mm-hmm.
So we're in this, but you talked about content. Content is the base. We're gonna have to do a better job with our visuals. I feel like Dave Freeze. I should write really tiny, illegible, illegible. That's it. Damn. I need more practice.
This is good. It's authentic.
Right.
That's
right?
the point of a podcast.
That's it. Okay. Anyway. So, big part of it is they implemented the stuff that they needed to do, and we see this over and over again. We have lots of clients. Some implement, some don't. Those people on this call, or pardon the podcast, know who you are. All right. So, for instance, a swear law, they implement like nobody's business. Cut again law, they implement like nobody's business. They implement. And that's really what you got to do. So they're doing all, your guys down in Charlotte, they're doing all of this great stuff. They're on page 1 for all keywords.
Mm-hmm.
There's more always. They are got their reviews down. So they got a lot of good things going on, but you guys are doing strategy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about what you came to them, and we can go back to the other slide, Thomas, about the why did you introduce this email marketing campaign? Tell us a little bit about why, what your ideas were.
Well, like I said, we were basically doing just about everything we could from a web marketing standpoint with them. One thing I wanted to try out was retargeting their referral list. Now, as criminal defense attorneys, they have a unique opportunity to recycle some of their past leads, whereas like in a personal injury case,
And past clients.
Yeah. Personal injury cases, you get a good settlement, you wrap up, the client and the attorney essentially part ways. Hopefully they meet back up again in some other fashion, but for the most part that relationship is over. Whereas in criminal cases, even if they are able to get a good outcome for, let's say, somebody who needs help with a DWI or a drug offense, there is this unique opportunity to get that charge expunged from their record. So rather than hoping that their past clients will
Remember to do it?
discover this on their own or
Or come
remember to
back-
do it,
Yeah.
why not just reach back out periodically and remind them that in addition to these services that they provide, we also do these other things. If you're having trouble, getting a job or moving on with your life after this conviction, there are ways that we can seal this from your record and help get you back on the path that you want. So essentially what we did was build in DSS a very, very straightforward, streamlined email marketing campaign that centered around educating their past clients on expungements, what they are, who might qualify for them, and encouraging them to reach out if they're interested in learning more about that. And yeah, here's just a few of the numbers that Thomas has up there. Fortunately, this law firm had been doing a really good job tracking all of their leads and all of their clients. I think DSS was their primary CRM, so we already knew that we had some very accurate data. But essentially, we just sent it out to all of the folks that they had worked with over the last 2.5, 3 years. So we had a really good number to send this out to and test. As you can see up there, send it out to right around 3,000 people that they worked in the past with, and then got a really good open rate. About a third of those people opened that up, and then another couple hundred click through. And that actually ended up turning into a few folks who contacted them about expungements.
Yeah, they got some sales out of it.
So it was pretty effective.
We talked about this earlier. It wasn't mind blowing in terms, but you're not going to get a whole lot for that. But this does multiple purposes, and I hope that those of you that are listening and watching this are having an aha moment, because this is taking an existing client list. This is the gold at your feet. These are all the people that you've already worked with, that you've already saved, that you've already helped, and reminding them of you. And here's another way that you can help them further. And it's a very simple campaign that reminded everybody of them. It reminds your entire base, your client list of you, the lawyer, because everybody forgets. And so, and you can do, yeah, you're right. Expungements is great for criminal and, anything having to do with your license, but the same type of thing can work very well in estate planning, where you're reminding them at certain points, hey, do you need to update your estate plan?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody thinks about that stuff. Nobody we should. We should think more about it, but we don't. We don't wake up in the morning and think, oh, is my estate plan good? Is my auto insurance all up to date? We don't think about that stuff. And we, just like you guys, want us to remind you or to let you know if something's going wrong with your website or your digital marketing and you get mad at us. We don't tell you. Your clients will get... It's your responsibility to your clients to remind them of these things. And the important thing is that to remind them ultimately that you're their lawyer. And so everybody, I hear it from everybody. I talk to you guys all day long, every day, and I hear it from everybody that at some point a past client will always come and say, I didn't know you did that. They do it to us, they do it to you. And the reason why is because either you didn't remind them at all, or, which is a crime, or you didn't do it well.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, we were talking about this this morning, Dave, and we were kind of like prepping for this, is that one is like have the right expectations about what these campaigns are doing. Don't expect, like if you're a personal injury lawyer, don't send an email out to 3,000 people with a terrible subject line saying, call me if you're if you're bloodied and in a serious car accident today. That's ridiculous. What did I do? Sorry. I got in trouble from the boss over there for my over gesticulation. I'm coming up with some big words. And also, we're not, the other big word today is we're not trillish today. So that's for Charlotte. There's no open beers in front of me today. No trilling.
Nope.
Right? It's a good word. Do you know what that word means?
No.
You're a big college business guy. I bet you Jamie does. The professor knows what that word means. Anyway,
I'll have to look it up.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, look it up. You'll know. Okay. Anyway, so the point here is to remind your list that you are their lawyer. That's really the point. And that's what, and listen, I talk to people that still aren't doing it. People that have been in great legal marketing and heard Ben Glass for years and years and years and years and years and years and years talk about your herd and the list. By the way, I'm really excited that Ben Glass is our guest next week at our podcast. So I just asked him, and he said he would do it, which is fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah. So next week is Ben Glass, and now I said it out loud. So now he has to really come. I know today, right now, he's doing his his little ERISA boot camp. So, and that's going very well. We have some people doing that. So, anyway. That's a crime for you to not be marketing to your own list. There's gold right there. People that already know you, people buy from people they like, and so you want to continuously remind them that you are a lawyer, their lawyer, regardless of what they need lawyering help with. Because then, regardless of what it is, even these guys, they sent all that out to you. What if somebody responded and said, hey, thanks for the reminder. Since you helped me with that, I've gone bankrupt. or what do I do? Typically, most of you might respond and say, and if you're a lawyer, I don't do that kind of law. That's not what you should do. Same if you're a doctor, and if you're a podiatrist and you're sending out reminders that they need to get their orthotics updated because it's been months and months and months, and that's something that people would want to know. They probably don't know that they need to upgrade or update it. And so if they call you, if they respond to you and say, thanks for the reminder, but I need to talk I need my ears fixed or something that is not a podiatrist's job, but you say, yes, let me get somebody to help you with that. And that's the whole point, is that you want to maintain that relationship with them. People do not want to go out to the cesspool of the internet and do another search. Why make them do that? You spend a lot of money getting them to come to you in the first place. Don't let them out. Don't let them go to your competition. It's your responsibility to stay in touch with them. Right, Dave?
Yeah, and that starts with being organized. I can't tell you how many times we've tried to set up an email campaign like this, and we've got, they have a lead list, but it's so fragmented in different places, and trying to get a consolidated list is really difficult. So, starting as early as possible, getting organized and tracking your leads and clients is only going to make things easier as you try and go about doing something like this.
Yeah, and you did this in DSS in our CRM, but this can be done in Infusionsoft or HubSpot or.
It was one email. It took me a couple hours to put together, but now we have a template and I can reuse that again. All we got to do is change the copy up a little bit and just let it fly. It's pretty easy to do, and it keeps working for you, even though after a couple days after sending it, engagement kind of goes down, but it still continues to work for you. That one little nugget of information that you sent them kept you top of mind at one point throughout someone's day, and they'll remember you. Right?
So, yes, and I love to use this example, and I think that we'll probably put it, I should have had you pull it up, Thomas, but I forgot about it until right this minute. But it's one of my favorite examples of because one thing with email, no matter what, you have to be interesting. And you have to speak to what they need, not what you're trying to sell them or what you're trying to push on them. And by the way, if you're making this mistake of sending out newsletters and you're calling it the law firm of Umpty Frats newsletter volume 36, you're making a giant mistake. So stop doing that. Be interesting. Be, if you're comfortable with it, be provocative, but be interesting. Like I talk a lot about BuzzFeed. If you don't know BuzzFeed, they're doing a great job in terms of and this was talked about a lot at the Traffic and Conversion Shop about they're exploding because their headlines, it's always the 17 reasons why, and It's just kind of the writing is interesting, and so you want to be interesting. One is take the step to start communicating, but make sure that you're doing it in an interesting way and not in a boring way.
Mm-hmm. I do plenty of newsletters for some of my clients, and we structure our subject lines around the showcase article. Usually the first one, rather than saying check out our new newsletter, we're check out this article about 10 workers' compensation myths in Georgia or something like that. Not check out, but that's what the subject will be centered around, is a question that their target audience is often asking.
So Dave, a lot of people work with Dave, and a lot of people work with our other services, digital marketing services people. But a lot of you are on your own, and a lot of you do it yourself, and that's where we built this company around that requirement. And a lot of you I work with. So you don't have resources. You can't afford a guy like Dave to help you pull all this together. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it. As a matter of fact, real quick, because I work with all what we call them the do-it-yourselfers, and I enjoy that very much. And there's one of them that Michael Monteforte is a estate planner guy up in Boston, Massachusetts, and he recently launched. He's on his own. He's practicing law like a lot of you. And a lot of you that started out this way, and you're beyond that, but some of you are still here. And I just wanted to share this with you because it's a great little thing. We're trying to figure out, okay, he's got his list. He's got his list in CRM. It's a couple hundred people, friends, past clients, relatives. Trying to come up with something, some ideas. So always look for what you personally are passionate about. So, I mean, Dave, you and I, Dave, we love rock and roll. We play music together, so we always have that kind of in common. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I displayed that up there. So people that also like rock and roll will be like instantly like, oh, Dave's cool. Mm-hmm. And, some of you will see that we'll do that with Marine Corps, Star Trek, whatever silliness. And it's not just my interests, it's other people's interests. That's true of what you should be doing. So in this particular, Michael Monteforte's thing, I'm like, what do you like to do? Besides, he's a big Red Sox fan. I didn't get into that. That's his business. Whatever he wants to do there. But another thing that he really likes is Game of Thrones. Now, it's all over now, Game of Thrones. We all know the outcome. But at this particular call, it was after the second episode of season 9 or whatever? I can't even know. Was it?
I think it was
eight. Yeah. Anyway, last season. Anyway, and of course, everything. If you haven't watched it, whatever. If you watched it, you know what I'm talking about. But we were talking, and I said, well, one of the things that you might want to do is like write a blog post if you were going to give estate planning advice to Jon Snow. Jon Snow is the big dog in the Game of Thrones trilogy story. Anyway, so he wrote this blog post, and it was really funny and well written, and his personality, and he sent that blog post through the CRM to his list and doubled his traffic in one day. Think about that. He got some re-inquiries. That's funny. Of course, he got the normal stuff from people. That's fine. But the point is now he's back in their memory again.
That was a cool topic.
Yeah.
That was really creative.
Yeah. And I encourage you guys to go check it out. Michael Monteforte in Boston. Great guy. The point is that's just what he did, but all of us can do that. That's how I started this whole company doing that. That's how Ben started, just being different and talking about things. What are we doing over there, producer Thomas? Thomas is messing with all the volume controls. And we're still working on this, right? We're still working on the tech. It's all good. At least we got the part of that out of there.
Yeah, a
right?
little bit.
Let's see.
Dampened.
Next we'll see if he edits it out this time. Anyway, so the whole thing is be interesting. Be who you are. I had another conversation with a client yesterday about this, because most lawyers are boring, and they're like, okay, I choose to be boring because that's what other lawyers are doing. Well, be different than that. What everybody else is doing, be different. Because so many are still not doing it. So many are still not tackling their own list. We have clients that even though they did not take the case, they took in the prospect or the lead and referred them out. But they, even though they didn't do the case, got the review.
Yep.
You see that a lot, right?
That happens a lot, especially in the world of personal injury, workers' comp. It's a lot more difficult to get a good review through the door. So any interaction you have with somebody, even if you end up referring them elsewhere, it can lead to something beneficial for you and your web marketing.
Yeah, because even if they came into you and it's not the best case for you, they're on your list now. They should be, if you've got it working like you've gotten lots of clients working. And most of you will get it working if you haven't already done it. Anyway, so I think that we've beaten that one up pretty good.
Yeah.
One, we're talking about like really just communicating with your list and doing it without being annoying. Don't overdo it. Don't send them multiple emails a day. Like, we just fixed that. We were doing that. We went a little overboard. Oops, sorry, but we dialed it back. But an email, like if you can get an email out a week, you're better off than no emails.
Yep.
If you can get an email out every 2 weeks, you're better off than not doing it at all. One a month, do it. It's better than none a month, right?
Yep.
And whether you call this an email newsletter or you just call it an email blast, it doesn't matter in the CRM. And then plus, anyway. And if you need help with this, of course, we are now offering, here's my blatant offer for doing our newsletter. We have a newsletter service. We recently launched it. If you need help doing a newsletter, Dave will play the guitar for you.
That's the offer.
Right. He will make it. There we go. So anyway, we'll send you this link. It's an email newsletter, but we can help build this for you. Get your list into DSS. Even if you're not with us, we can help you do your newsletters and show you what a joy it is to work with people like us, and then you can become a client if you're not already. Anyway, all right. So what if somebody's just starting out? What would you recommend that they do? Like you said, get organized. So let's talk a little bit more about that. Like step one, we got to get the list.
Mm-hmm.
So the list is in multiple places.
Yeah, some people have it in a spreadsheet, some other CRM that they've been using, years ago. Now that they've got this other one, they don't have the time to consolidate them and reformat and all that. I'd say put aside a good half day, several hours to get all of that in check, and get it in one spot. Whether it's in DSS or some other CRM that you're using, you want to make sure all of that is organized and consistent and well tagged, so the difference between someone who's a family member or a friend or somebody who was a personal injury case or a med mal case. You want to be able to slice and dice it depending on the type of newsletter or type of email you're sending out.
That's a great point. You said family member. Remember that most of the people, I'm going to look at my list, that are registered. But, I mean, we're working with solo and small firms and practices, not very many megawatt firms. So you all are boutique firms, really. And so you are a brand. Your brand is your name. And that is what people come to you for, is your brand. And so when somebody says you need to use my friend, or the guy that coaches my soccer team, or the guy that is the deacon at the church, he's my lawyer and his name is Scott Swear, people are going to do what? What do? They type that name into Google. They go search for the name directly. And so you want to make sure that all that looks good. That's a whole different conversation about what that looks like, that online thing looks like. But this is really what we're talking about. Your friends and family, especially when you're a boutique firm, are your best sales people. And we all can agree, well, maybe some of you, maybe not, but most of you will agree that your best cases and clients come from referrals. Referrals from past cases and clients, or past, and from friends, relatives, or other lawyers that know you. Not very many people have argued with me about that point, although I'm sure some people will. Yes, of course, I know that some great cases come in through some vanity keyword search. I'm not arguing that. But more come in through this other angle, which is through your own list, because people want to refer people to you. People do not want to go out on the internet and do searches if they already know somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I agree. I mean, like, that's got to be the first, get that list in there. And a lot of them, they don't know where the list is.
And if you lost it, then today's the perfect day to
Right.
start, getting everything together. I mean, if there's if you can't get everything together and consolidated, start doing it right today.
Now, another thing that that I just want to add that was of interest was your follow-up. We had a follow-up meeting after this email thing that you did, this email campaign.
The landing page
Yeah.
optimization one? Yeah. What about that?
Yeah, so let's kind of talk about that because that's where the email, that's what you were talking about, conversion.
Mm-hmm.
And so what did you discover when you were doing your analysis?
For the...
Yeah, for the campaign, that they were coming in, 75% were coming in through mobile?
Yeah, but that was for a different landing
that
page,
was for-
unrelated to
Right.
expungements. But that's definitely a factor you want to pay attention to, where your traffic is coming from, because that can be a huge influence on your strategy for conversion. If most people are coming in through a mobile device, you want to make sure that that page is well formatted for mobile devices, because if it's not, if you've got a wonky picture that looks great on desktop but covers up a big chunk of your content, that might drive some people away. And there's a couple other factors too.
Well, 100%, but I think that the point is that you better be paying attention, everybody, to what your mobile stats are, because that tide has turned. I mean, that most people are going to mobile. Our producer's over on his mobile phone right now, like checking his Instagram or kind of whatever he's doing, or what is that app that? Never mind. What is a dating app? What is that thing
There's
called?
tons.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like what?
Bumble?
Bumble. Yeah, like he's flipping through his Bumble account or whatever. Anyway, anyway, mobile, right? That's the whole point. And so everybody spends way too much time and attention on traffic, on getting traffic, on page one, and not enough time, or they don't balance the effort on, like what you said, on conversion. So there's attraction is bringing traffic to you.
Mm-hmm.
Attraction, getting on page one. What we just talked about, doing the email, sending out.
They want more visibility, but don't realize that they're getting visibility and getting traffic, but are missing out on opportunities to convert that traffic. And they seem like it's not working because they're not ranking high enough. When they're ranking well enough, they're just not
Converting.
Yeah, exactly.
So that could be based on it's the wrong traffic, or they don't have the right conversion elements on those pages that are getting traffic, right? So this is what we were talking about with the landing page exercise that we did about how do we improve high traffic pages that aren't converting as well as we want them to.
One thing is to give them an opportunity, make it very clear how to convert. In DSS, it's very easy. We can have that module feature on the back end of DSS where we can add mini contact forms, related links to FAQs. And a lot of times we'll find these pages that are getting a lot of traffic and they don't even have a mini contact form on there. What better way to convert than giving them an actual vehicle for them to submit their information? So that's one thing. Images are obviously a great way to increase conversion. Relevant videos, internal linking. As an SEO analyst, I definitely like this tactic. If you have a great piece of content, you want to make sure you have links within that content that send people to relevant articles, that keeps them clicking through to other pages. You don't want them to just consume the content. You want them to have a logical, natural path on what to do next. So that's kind of like the logic behind how we get people to convert.
Yeah, and it's constantly improving. It's a journey.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's never done. I don't know any time where I've ever like raised my hands in victory and said we have solved the marketing game. That's just not. It doesn't happen that way. You're always squeezing more out of it. That's why we say things like A/B split testing and but the point is that you got to get it rolling out there, and you tweak it and improve it. You tweak it and improve it. What's like this email campaign that you just started? You can see already. We already talked about it. Like, what can we do to make it better? And we know we got something. if you got an email that has a great open rate, or if you got a page that's getting a lot of traffic but it's not converting, it's not a traffic problem. It's not a page one problem. It's a conversion problem. That could be easily fixed with some design changes, with some better calls to action, like Dave was saying. So what I encourage you all to do is go log into DSS if you're a Foster client. If not, go log into whatever analytics programs that you use and see what your top pages are. I can guarantee you that a lot of those top pages are not converting, or you'll be surprised about what your top pages are. If your top pages are like any kind... What was that? Oh, wow. Well, that was good. That was a voice from on high. All right. So anyway, this is what I do a lot with. I go over these top pages, and there's always things that can be done to improve, because you don't honestly always know what Google's going to pick out of your site for you to be indexed for, and so you have to pay attention to that. It's your top pages are rarely your practice area pages. They're usually blog posts. If you're a great brand, they're going to be your home page and your bio pages, because people do brand searches. The more reviews that you have, honestly, the better the lawyer, the better the doctor you are, the more good reviews that you should have, and the more visits to your homepage and bio. That's fine, but make sure that you have great conversion tools on those pages. What are people asking for? I mean, look, I've been saying this for 20 years. Answer the question that people ask. You know what? So, for instance, in your campaign about expungement, the email asks, maybe you can get an expungement. Click here. And I don't remember looking at all the pieces of the campaign, Dave. But whoa, what's going on?
I was just thinking there's tons of ways.
You got to tighten that up. See, we already have no, right? It's like
this one.
Yeah.
I keep doing that.
It's that one down.
It's something down here. It's good. I just kicked it.
Okay.
But yeah, like you were saying, it takes constant revisions. Yeah. Even though we were, I thought we were very successful with that campaign. Just thinking now, we could have had a unique landing page just for expungements, rather than sending them to the expungements individual library article. We could put together a very condensed contact form just for that campaign, just another way to refine it and streamline it and improve it. So that's probably something we'll try out next time.
Yeah. Well, and we talked about that. Always improving, always getting better. Okay, speaking of, as we wind on down, I think we're almost at the end, right, Thomas? Okay. So Thomas, unbeknownst to me, because we were like almost at 10,000. Hey, by the way, we just got 10,000 Facebook likes, right? So thank you, everybody. That's pretty good.
That's huge.
Yay, us. So we're giving away one of these fancy, awesome jackets. And I'm glad to take it off because it's hot in here. I've been like showing it off. Right? Oh, there you go. So
I've got one right here.
It's not the one I'm wearing. That would cost more. But we're going to get, what do we do, Thomas? We just, do I say a name off of here? Is that what we're doing?
I think we'll decide after the fact.
I think I'm going to pick.
Stay tuned.
I'm going to pick one of my favorite people on the list to send it to. How's that? Because it's my show and I can do what I want.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. I already know who I'm going to send it to. Okay, so you had to be on the podcast, so it's not like I have a list of people that registered, but if you didn't really come, so you got to really be here, and we know that, don't we, Thomas? Who was here? Do we?
Not yet.
We will later. Anyway, so we got a cool Foster Web Marketing North Face jacket, perfect time for summer. Not really. But listen, we appreciate you guys tuning into the podcast. It's a new format for us. Let us know what you want to hear about, but I'm basically going to be interviewing not only our internal people about what we can do better and how you can do things better, but also celebrities like Ben Glass. We got Dave Freeze coming on here shortly. We're going to bring the professor back because that was a great interview. It's too bad that we had some technical problems with that, but it's all good. Anyway, thanks to everybody. Did I cover it all?
Yeah.
I
Well,
did.
we also got Brian Mitchell coming in.
Oh, Brian B. Mitch, the big man. B. Mitch, pro football player, Brian Mitch. I don't know if anybody knows that, but we're kind of cool because we get to do his website, bmitch30.com. We just redesigned that site. Brian Mitchell, Hall of Fame, Redskins football player. He also played for the Eagles and the Giants, but we won't tell anybody about that because he's here with us. Anyway, we got that one coming up and lots of good stuff coming up. And if there's things that you want, and if you want to be on this podcast, let me know because I love interviewing clients about their successes. I got a couple of people that I'm going to be reaching out to invite them here. And I think that the last thing that I'm going to talk, well, if you need to get newsletters done, give us a shout. You can send an email to Tom Foster at fosterwebmarketing.com if you want to talk about it. If you need any help or any analysis, or if you're just lost, call us. We're here to help you. That's what we do. And then final plug for madbrenda.com. That's the band. That's Dave is in the band with me. Love to have him in there. My daughter and Cole, who's our awesome drummer, and Cope,
Yeah.
the bass player. Yeah, so we got some good things going on. We're gonna probably put on a gig here in the.
It's
in
been
the
too
fall.
long.
Yeah,
We
it's been
need
too
to
long.
do one.
Well, yeah, you're gonna need because you're gonna get married here in a month. You're gonna be like, I need a gig, man. All right. Anyway, thank you, producer Thomas, and thanks to everybody for joining the podcast.
Yep, thanks,
The
everybody.
world of marketing.